Hey guys, so I'm working on a bunch of different things now. I got these side guards done here. Welded on there. And torque converter cover fitted. Just had to cut out the back a little there. And I jumped onto this tank. It wasn't running so good, so I had to clean out the carburetor. Got that done and it's running good now. But I think I'm going to pull the cover off this transmission because it was skipping a little bit. And I thought it was jumping out of gear, but now I'm thinking maybe the gears are a little messed up. So I'll have to take a look at them. And I'm going to add some springs to this pivot here, like this. Because this pivot point is a little bit too far forward. I'm going downhill. Sometimes it tips forward and the front end digs in. So I'm going to add those springs and then maybe add some stops there so it moves that pivot point to this wheel. And then it won't do that as much because I guess I'm not fat enough to offset the engine weight up front. So that should improve it, going down hills and things. And another unrelated project is this sheet metal bender. I'm bending up these windshield channels for my CJ5 for the hardtop. They go on the windshield for the doors. It's like a hot item. People usually missing them and they always want them made, so I thought I'd make a bunch of them, but it's not as easy as it looks. This is an original one, and I made one of them, but it's not as easy as it looks. I made this bender a couple years ago specifically for that purpose. I clamped the metal in there like this, and then bend it like that, but I didn't have any sheet metal at the time, so I just kind of gave up on it. But now I have sheet metal, so I figured I'd try it again. And I had to add these strengtheners to give it a little more support, because this is just a little square bar and that was deflecting, and this is just a flat bar and that was pushing back. So I think I kind of solved that strength problem, but still have to clamp the hell out of this upper one to keep it down when making this first bend. And then it doesn't really push it tight enough, so after I do each bend, I take it over to my press here. Then I have to use this to press it tighter. Actually, I don't use this one because the bumps here are a little too big. I use this one. It's kind of all bent out of shape, but I do it on the end here where it's still good. And have to use that for certain bends too. And I'll show you this later. It's for the fenders. It's a bead roller I made for the press. And this clamps in the top and this you clamp on the bottom. And it gives you a little ridge in the middle. So I'll show you how that works in a little bit. And for the front fenders, well, for the fenders, I'm starting out with this piece of metal here. I took a pipe like this and I just pie cut it on the bottom. You can kind of see the leftover pie cuts here, and that's how I bent the curve, and then I cut it off. Now I'll slice this in half, and then I'll have both sides for my fender. And I'll use a piece of sheet metal and curve that around and weld it all together. So that'll be my fender, and then I'll use that die there to make a bump in the middle like the Super Broncs have, and that'll give it some style and strength, and we'll see how that goes. Alright, I opened up the transmission case here on the tank, and I found second gear had a couple of missing teeth there on the drive gear, but I haven't seen any other troubles with it. So I think it's a little weird that it was doing what it was doing because of that, but I suppose it's possible. I guess it might have been locking the whole thing up or something. So I'll replace that and see if it fixes it. I didn't make those stops yet. Still gotta work on that. Alright, bring you back when I get something done there. Welded some extensions on here because this tank's different. The filler's over here, so the straps are going to be on the outside more. Alright, I got that fender done and the mount made. I gotta put some supports out the back here like that. I flattened out the end on my train track anvil here. So that went pretty well.
I know it's not yet. The set up yet, but where you want to go? Drive down. You all drive in.
Okay, got the fender all in place there. Made a couple brackets on top here. And bolted the bottom to the engine plate down there. So that looks good. And I got the tank all put back together here. Transmission went back together okay. Seems a little better. And got this spring here mounted. Just made a little bracket there for it. And drilled a couple holes up in here. And I welded this stop on there. So when it's tilting forward, it bottoms out on that. It should fix it. Or help a little bit anyway. So now I just got the trailer hitch left to go and finish up the cables. And we'll be riding this thing. Alright, I got the trailer hitch on there. Looks alright. Sort of matches. And I'm using motor oil to stain those boards for the back. Old motor oil. And got the brake done. The cable's going to run from this side to this side through that hole. And I have this little cable stop I'll put on it. And cables on there. And for the throttle, made this little bracket here. It'll go like that. And pull on this governor arm. I gotta figure out a place to put a spring to hold it back that way. And for the cable, it's kind of a weird cable. This end already had this end brazed on it. It looks like they took a brass ballpoint pen tube and just brazed it on the cable. With a little steel end on it. So I used that. And it had a couple of frays on it, so I just JB welded them. So that's that end. And then this end, I had to make the end too. I took a little copper tube there. Sort of fits in there. It's a little too big, so I had to smash it in there. But I just frayed the end of the cable and filled it up with solder. So, never tried that before, so we'll see how that works. And I happen to have a new gas cap. Fits right on there. The old one was all rusted out. And that's about it. Got the fender done here. I think I showed you that. And so now I can tear it all apart, paint it, and next video we'll be riding it. Alright guys, thanks for watching. See you later.